welcome to TWF. I'm going to get out of here. Hi, everyone, and welcome to TWF Collision or Hit. I, Tony Schiavone, with Jim Ross, and Paul with Montel Vertadius Porter here. And today on Collision or Hit, we're going to have four-sitter chosen, soon to be the four-sitter of the 4-1 Reichs on the first month, the 20th, Donald J. Trump, and he's going to be here today on Collision or Hit. I can tell you right now, Jim Ross said he's had a bind with Braun Strowman. Don't forget on Monday Night Raw or Monday Night Raw this week, him and Braun Strowman had a match, and I think they're going to have a new match here today on Collision or Hit. I can tell you one thing, Montel Vertadius Porter says, Braun Strowman is going to get himself in a lot of bind, with all the sundriest Gabber Law Keepers out there, mostly the gathering team of Underseeking and the Hidden Help, Hidden Help. Those are going to be the main gathering law keepers that he's going to have be in a bind with, Montel Vertadius Porter says. Well, we're going to go to the ring now, and we're going to listen up to him and some of the things he's going to say, Tony Schiavone says. Alright, everyone. It is me, Donald J. Trump. The J stands for Joseph. And I will soon be the 47th four-sitter of the 4-1 Reichs next month on 20th of the first month. And I did something that only Grover Cleveland did, to be about, he's the only man to do what I did. You see, he was chosen the first time, then they chose Benjamin Harrison for 4 years, then they chose Grover Cleveland again, just like they chose me for the first 4 years. Then they chose Joseph Biden, and then, they chose me again. And I'm going to do what Grover Cleveland did. Or I already did what Grover Cleveland did. And I'll be oathed in as the 47th four-sitter of the 4-1 Reichs. And too bad there's nothing that no one can do about it. Not even Carmella Harris, who was hoping to become the first woman four-sitter. Well, you can run again in 2028, YL. Until then, shut up. Everyone, you telling folks to shut up. And see, I can't do this to you in true life, but I can do it to you as a doll. A lot of folks are worried about what you're going to do for those 4 years from 2025 YL to 2028 YL. They're going to wonder what you're going to do from 2025 YL to 2029 YL. And this is the last time we'll have to deal with you as a four-sitter. You say, you're going to break a rest between Rushland and Ukrainishland. You say that you're going to help bring down the fees and worth of things. You're already having a draft war between the settled land and Mexicanish land. Oh, that is so great. You're off to a great start, and you're not even a four-sitter yet. You know what? We don't need to talk about what I'm going to do when I become four-sitter next month. I'm going to talk about what I'm going to do to you, what I'm going to do to you for what you did to me. You know, under Gavin Reich Shearer law, you'd be put in lockup for what you did to me. Yeah, if you weren't a doll. All right, it was my mistake to bring on the former half owner of WWE, the former main overseer of Raw, Donald Trump. My mistake to bring on the main owner and main stockholder of the Trump business, and soon to be the fourth sitter, the 4-1 Reichs again. But this, you're a toy, a doll. So the law, which would shield you if you were manlike, which has nothing to do with you being a doll. So here today on Collision or Hit, it will be Braun Strowman taking on Donald J. Trump. And you like to run your mouth, but that's the only thing you're really good at running at. When it comes to wrestling and fighting, you haven't done shit. You take that back. I was in a landmine. Yeah, and so I was, and so my four kin were in a landmine too, huh? Well, at least a lot more folks onlook me than they onlook you. Now let's do the match now. Well, we do know that John Bradshaw Lakefield, has made the match here today. Tony Schiavone said against Donald Trump and Braun Strowman. Well, Jim Ross said, how is this even going to play out? Ding, ding. Well, that's it. Donald Trump's getting out of here. He's a wise man, Jim Ross said. He'll run for it. That's what he's doing, Tony Schiavone said. He's running now. Uh-oh. Braun Strowman's got him. Uh-oh. You know what? This is going to be bad. Braun Strowman just brought Donald Trump back in the ring. Now, how is this fair? Montel Vertadius Porter said Braun Strowman outweighs him, and you're going to outmight him. And now Braun Strowman is just beating him up. It's just beating him up right now. So unfair, Montel Vertadius Porter says. Well, if he didn't want to be in the match, he shouldn't have shown up, Tony Schiavone says. And right now, Braun Strowman just knocking him down. The Fight Lord just letting it go. Tony Schiavone said, well, Jim Ross said, I didn't choose for him, but I don't got nothing against him. But he's never been a wrestler, Jim Ross said. Well, that's right. He's not a wrestler. He's not a fighter. He's a businessman, lawmaker, whatever you want to call him. And this shouldn't be done. Montel Vertadius Porter says. Braun Strowman's killing him. Oh, shit. Donald Trump made a mistake, Tony Schiavone says. It's over. Braun Strowman's going to beat Donald Trump right here on Collision or Hit, Tony Schiavone said. It was so unfair. It was a missided, one-sided, unfair match, Montel Vertadius Porter says. Well, it is, Jim Ross said, and this match is over. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Here is your winner, Braun Strowman. And Braun Strowman is picking up. And Braun Strowman has thrown Donald Trump back to where he came from. He's kind enough to do that, Tony Schiavone says. Well, Jim Ross said, we do know that Jim Ross says that Braun Strowman has beat Donald Trump here today on Collision or Hit. And some folks might not be happy with it, Tony Schiavone says. Some folks might be, some Donald Trump followers out there, which he has many, might not be happy with this, Tony Schiavone says. Well, Jim Ross said, you don't really have to worry about, them. It's not like they're going to come on this film and make anything out of it, Jim Ross said. No, no, I don't think so, Montel Ratavius Porter says. I don't think so. But I still think it's unfair that Braun Strowman had to fight Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is not a wrestler, he's not a fighter. You know, Montel Ratavius Porter says. Shit. There we go. Alright. Alright, Tony Schiavone says, take it away now. Take it away now, Tony Schiavone says. Take it away now, Mike, today. Thank you, Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross. I'm going to be talking with Braun Strowman here today on Collision or Hit. Alright, Braun Strowman, you once again have beaten Donald Trump here today on Collision or Hit. And he kept saying that you were fired at least 2 times. He can say that all he wants. I could give 2 shits about it. That doll isn't firing anyone. I already beat him. And I'll tell you what right now. If he wants to start up shit again in the toy wrestling gathering, then I'll be ready for him. So you're going to be ready for Donald Trump if he shows up again and starts shit here in the toy wrestling gathering, as you put it. Yeah, that's right. I used to have a saying, I don't know if I say it anymore, but maybe I should say it. You gonna get these hands. Yeah, that was your saying, Braun Strowman. As you said in your first run in WWE, I guess from 25th between FYL to 2021 YL though. And your 2-diff run WWE in 2022 YL to now, you didn't really say that. Well, that was my saying, and that should be my saying again. I don't know if I do have a saying or not. All I know is that I beat Donald Trump. And very few folks can say that they beat the soon-to-be 4-sitter of the 4-1 Reichs in a wrestling match or a wrestling fight. Yeah, I guess very few folks could say that. Well, that's my talk of Braun Strowman. Back to you, Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross. Well, thank you, Mike, today for talking with Braun Strowman here today on Collision or Hit. And that's all the time we've got here for Collision or Hit. I, Tony Schiavone, with Jim Ross and Montel Ratavius Porter, we hope you like Collision or Hit. And we'll see you tomorrow for Power or Might.